All right, everybody, welcome to the JK Theory. Here we talk about anything and everything. No topic is left untouched, no stone is left unturned. We give you the raw, real, and uncut. And before we get into it, I'm Jay,
Okay.
I'm Chachi.
and this is the JK Theory. So, we're going to touch on a topic that's all over the place. It's on TikTok, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on MySpace if you still look at that. But, anyways, this is about the Diddler, the Diddy trial.
Itty bitty
Cassie,
bitty.
Diddy, I mean, you name it, long list of people. So we're in, I want to say day 10, day 11 of the trial. I know that they didn't have one on Friday and Monday was a holiday, but things are ramping up. Um, it started up pretty slow. I want to say, because everybody's like, where's the celebrities? Where's the Rico? Where's the racketeer? Where's all this stuff coming from? But I feel the buildup. I feel the hammer starting to come down a little bit. However, I do want to get a female's perspective on this as well. So that's what we got Chachi on the line. So far, Chachi, when it comes to, we'll just kind of piece this up a little bit. When it comes to just Diddy, right? Where do you see the case going? If you were to end the case now, are you setting him free?
Definitely not. Definitely not. Um, just today's. So it's today I heard testimony of a stylist, and I'm not good with names. I'm so sorry. I know there was like a stylist, in which he was like cool with Cassie, and he mentioned something in the lines of being choked up by Diddy a couple times, which is crazy. Um, and I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, this man is guilty of everything that they're saying, right? Um, I would not be surprised though if he only got like 30 years and then was good. Like, not saying he's gonna walk away scot free. They're gonna give him some time, but I don't think he's gonna be in there for life.
Okay, so we're gonna play devil's advocate because we always throw different theories out in JK theory. I mean, choking somebody, you really gonna get life for choking? You really gonna get 15 years for choking somebody?
I
Can't
mean,
this just be a disgruntled employee?
it's what led to the choking though. A lot of it had to do with um, the stylist's involvement with Cassie and being kind of like the one that would be the barrier and defend her. And he didn't like that. He didn't like that Cassie was going out and that she had friends and people outside of his control, people that had voices of reason. And I mean, I'm glad that she did have someone, but they also didn't go to the cops. They just kind of, they were scared too. Like, he was petrified. He was like, I had $1,000 in my backpack just in case I had to go get a hotel and hide, and from Diddy, all from Diddy. And I mean, we're waiting on Rico details, but little by little, I mean, this man is just incriminating himself.
All right, I hear it, but come on. You choked me once and I'm coming back. I either like it or the pay is very well. So what's the deal? Why is the stylist going back?
I think hearing Capricorn's testimony too, she mentioned that she has stopped working well, she got let go of Bad Boy. Supposedly it was like some bad vacation time that was put in, but she had talked to the head of Bad Boy, and she was like, "Oh, this is mysteriously vanished, all because you guys just don't want me working there. Like, I can't take it to HR because now you're saying, oh, I didn't put in vacation time correctly." And she mentioned that Diddy told her, like, you will never work for anyone ever
Mm.
again. And she kept going back. Like, she kept, she realized, I can't get a job, I can't do this, I can't do that. And she kept going back to Diddy. So it's like damn, like you're stuck in this world where you're getting this income. All you gotta do is just be hush hush because you don't want to disappear, you don't want to lose your livelihood, you don't want to get hurt, and you definitely don't want to get off. So it's kind of like this is the empire that he built, and he can take you in or keep you out.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he has that track record. I mean, we all know what he did to Wendy Williams. He silenced her and got her pretty much kicked off the air for a couple years.
Mhm.
Um, he's known to just blackball people.
Yeah.
It was known at Hot 97 in New York. He would call the radio station, "Hey, don't play such and such, or start playing this more, or start doing that." He was controlling the airways.
Oh yeah.
So I totally hear that. So, Kate, coming from a perspective where you've never liked Diddy,
Never.
so where do you see? How do you see it now, as of today? Are you giving him life? Like what? So far, I mean, I really haven't heard of anything other than assault that he's done.
I would have gave him life beforehand, and I ain't know nothing about it. I
I don't know, man. I mean, life is what, 25 years, 30 years for just choking
I would
somebody?
gave him double life. But it's more than just choking somebody. Like this is just the small print of what he's doing. They haven't even got to the big stuff yet. That's the problem.
Well,
Not
so
only
so
the
so that's why I said till today, like from what they've talked about so
Mhm.
far, right? I think the big thing that we haven't talked about yet is he got Kid Cudi's car blown up or Mazel Tov or whatever you want to call it. Mazel Tov. Molotov cocktail, like that's
Hey,
a
Mazel
big
Tov
deal.
too. Hey, it was a celebration for him.
So, but is that worth 30 years in jail?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Somebody blow up my car? Yeah, absolutely. Because not only did he blow up his car, he broke in his house.
Mm.
Not only did he break in this man's house, he beat up this woman multiple times, multiple women. It's not just one. And like
Hmm.
we just talked about one scenario, it was an accident type thing. No, he done this multiple times. He should have been in jail long ago. But when you have fear of somebody, what can you do? Not only the beating and the blowing up the car and the breaking in somebody's house, you also have the SA going on as well. It's so many different factors in what this man has done and has got away with for so long. Yeah, absolutely. He deserves life plus 20.
Okay. So he's has some essay accusations. We have to say accusations
Accusations.
because we haven't I haven't seen it. I haven't seen, the whole Dave Chappelle R. Kelly skit. Like, I gotta
Hmm.
see him holding his ID and his grandma in the background. Like, we haven't seen video yet of an SA. It's all been hearsay, right?
Yeah.
Um, Blew up the vehicle. I want to say in today's testimony, they talked about him possibly having an NYPD officer on payroll.
Yeah.
So
Not
that's
surprised.
that's huge. Not
Hmm.
surprised there. I mean, for a while there, I can't remember the timeline, but Diddy used to call himself the mayor of the city. Like he
Yep.
Yeah.
literally ran the
Hmm.
city. I remember a couple years straight, he would do the Puerto Rican Day Parade and he ran it. Like it was, you swear he was Puerto Rican. He had the biggest float, all the people. I think J-Lo was either on the float behind him or in front of him. Like New
Hmm.
York was his town. So he's well connected. I'm curious to see how this leads up, how they do the Rico thing. I kind of want to see the celebrity list. Like they've already mentioned a couple names here and there, but I want these celebrities subpoenaed and walked in there and talked to, especially Ashton Kutcher, because I know he's got to show up.
Listen,
There are so many videos of him showing up at parties. There's so many scandals behind Ashton Kutcher as well. Brittany Murphy. So we definitely need to find out more. Um, do you think, because now we know that there's a lot of drugs involved, right? They haven't mentioned the baby oil being spiked, but they have mentioned the eye drops being spiked, right? So do you think, or do you see where Diddy, out of desperation, he might just say, I'm an addict. I wasn't in my right state of mind. I'm going to plead insanity. And he gets off, not scotch free,
Excuse
but
me.
in a mental institution, gets off pretty easy. Do you see that happening?
Can I say something before sis? Go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Uh, that doesn't work for black people. We don't get to choose. We don't get to say insanity. That doesn't work for us. So no, he can't go that route because they're gonna look at him like, who you talking to? They're gonna look at you like you've been your right frame of mind this whole time, and now you crazy. That doesn't work. So he better go with something else because if he try that, he get not only 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they gonna add another 20 for playing in their face.
Yeah.
Mm.
And not only that, but if he were to plead mental insanity, he should be acting crazy right now.
I mean, who's to say he's not, right? I mean, he's what, 7 months now, I think, locked up, 7, 8 months in jail.
I mean, he might be clean, he might not be, but drug addiction and withdrawal, it's a horrible process. And for them to say he's walking in there and he's just staring at people, he's staring at reporters, he's staring at witnesses, and he's passing notes to his attorneys and stuff like that. I mean, if he wasn't, if like I said, if he were to plead mental health issues or even like behavioral issues, he would be acting crazy in there because they're telling him about himself and the things that he did. You know, one thing that I realized with addiction is even though the addict might not remember it happened, that doesn't mean it didn't happen. You know, so just imagine him sitting there and listening to people tell stories about him. And he's like, I don't even know if this is true or not, but they're under oath. Like, I can't speak for myself. I got a whole team to speak for me. And he's just passing notes along the whole time, you know, that people are talking and he's giving them intimidating looks. And, you know, so I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree with Corn. Like, you can't play that card and say, oh, I'm crazy. Like, I was just going through it. You were definitely going through it, but you weren't crazy.
Mm-mm.
Okay, okay. So I'm gonna give my thoughts and I'm gonna keep it short. I'm gonna give my thoughts about Cassie.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
And we're gonna try to do 30-second rants of Cassie. Okay. So my rant of Cassie. At first, I felt really bad. At first, I thought she was nothing but a victim. I felt really bad for this girl. She went through so much. And then as the days progress and the lawyers discuss, I kind of think that she liked it. I think that she fell in love with the lifestyle. I think she kept returning to Diddy. She loved what was going on. There's messages between her and Diddy saying, "Oh, I can't wait for the next one. Oh, I can't wait." She handled all the messages back and forth with the sex workers. She handled the money that went along with the sex workers. So she's at fault too. There's no way she's this Snow White, I'm the victim, blah, 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 blah. She plays a part of it. So I think that hurts her as well. Congrats on the baby. So, okay, what's your thoughts on Cassie? 30 seconds.
I disagree with everything you said, and I'm gonna tell you why. Uh, Because Cassie was so young, she knew no better in most of the stuff that she was doing. And as victims, you get groomed into things, and you think, okay, this is what it is. This is what it's supposed to be. And then you realize, no. But you're at a certain point where now you can't go and be like, no, I don't want to do this anymore because you've seen once she stopped wanting to do it, what happened to her. And if people think that was the first time that he's actually put his hands on her because of something like that, they're crazy. She did the same exact thing that most victims do in those situations. You say and you do whatever you can to not be, abused or you're fearful and things like that. So those messages and things that she was saying is nothing different than what I've seen in normal women. So how do people think a person with so much power is going to do you when normal women is writing those same messages to dudes that have no power? They just make them feel less.
All right,
And the other
Chachi.
thing is,
Okay,
Cassie's not on trial. Diddy is.
Chachi, 30 seconds.
Oh man, I might need a little more than 30 seconds. So I agree with both of you guys. I think that in the beginning, she was young. She was told, this is the lifestyle that I'm living. You either rock with it or you don't. She was given a certain lifestyle, an expectation. She wanted to become an artist. She wanted to know what that was. And she linked up with one of the most powerful men in hip hop. And she's seen power moves. She linked up with a boss, someone that had that power. And after the time, it opened the door for not only success and fame and money, but it opened the door for grooming, for drug addiction. She had an addiction herself. She was in and out of rehab too. She had sex addictions. She had like all these other problems that she's even now dealing with. Like she's still dealing with it. She unfortunately, I do feel bad for her because as a woman, like just imagining the stress that it gets put on your body, the trauma that your body has after experiencing any type of assault, it lives with you forever. She'll be 50, 60 years old and still have to deal with some sort of trauma, whether that's mental or physical, sexual, whatever. But also it does lead to that question, like, well, then why didn't you just stop? And it's like, I feel like after a while, because she wasn't in her right state of mind, like she was so stuck in that lifestyle, it's like when you're stuck, you can't find another way out unless you literally take yourself out. And which she was driven to that point multiple times, even after she was out of the whole situation with her husband. Now he said like there were times that she wanted to run into oncoming traffic. So I think that the level of accountability is her taking her power back and speaking her story. But at that time, she had no power because she was with someone that had all the power. And he made it very clear and evident that, like, if you try to do me wrong, I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to destroy your life. I'm going to make sure that your parents see this. I'm going to make them lose their jobs. You ain't going to have no friends. You'll have no money. If you do anything, I'm going to spin it on you, release these tapes and make it seem like you were all for it and everybody's going to see who you were, to me, kind of thing. So yeah, it's hard because I do feel like, damn, like she was with it until she realized, oh, this is it, like there's more to this, um in which being in a relationship with someone that has more experience, who's older, who has power, who has money like that, I mean, just in my perspective, it gets intimidating, and it gets to the point where you're just like, I feel like I'm too much in to back out, you know.
This sounds like the complete opposite of 50 Shades of Grey. Like this is like 50 Shades of Diddy. Like this is like the BET version ghettofied, like to the
Uh,
max. Like this is insane. So moving forward, um, what do you see? Okay, something happened where somebody was let go recently, right? He was exonerated. So Larry Hoover was exonerated by Trump. Do you potentially, if Diddy does get convicted and go to jail, do you see Trump just rescuing Diddy from jail and saying, "Nah, you're good. We'll set you free." He did it to Lil Wayne. Okay, what's your thoughts?
Are we asking me?
Yep.
I don't like either one of them. So both of them go right to hell for all I care. Uh, he probably would. They run in the same pack. They do the same shit. So yeah, he probably would. They buddies. They can have parties together. My thoughts. Well, fuck both of them. My true thoughts.
Chachi, the PG version of the answer. What do you think?
no, no, no. Somebody needs to be made an example of, and it's gonna be Diddy. They're gonna make an example out of him. Not only are they making so much money from this whole trial, They're also like the publicity, the distraction from everything else that's happening. Like this is a hot topic no matter how much time is going to pass. Like this is a moment in history. And no, they're going to make an example out of him.
You know what I find interesting? There's so many rumors, like even from way back in the day about, oh, Diddy's gay, he's gay, he's gay. They've interviewed sex workers, they've interviewed Cassie, but at no point have they said Diddy's been backdooring boys out there. So what do you think? Do you think he's just a cuck, or he's really, take that, take that?
I think we're going to hear.
I think it's both.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
We're going to hear more. I think that after a while, like think about it right now in the timeline, we're around 2011, 2016. We ain't even up in the 20s yet. You know what I'm saying? And he been doing some crazy stuff. His parties just got bigger. You know, he started opening bigger circles, bigger social circles. He had tunnels and everything. Like, come on now. He didn't have all that back then. He was playing chess. He's been playing chess this whole time, you know. And so I know we're going to hear all those stories. We're going to hear about, him messing with men, with children.
Hmm.
We're going to hear about that trafficking because the evidence is there. We're just putting pieces to this story. Like Kay mentioned, we're building a character. Where
Hmm.
we have to build up to that, to where it's like, okay, like there's no denying we got you. And the funny thing is that all these testimonies, especially Capricorns, it don't look good for Diddy. She said a lot of stuff. And at first I was like, oh, she got paid. She must have got paid and she's making him look great. But then you really listen to it and you're like, oh, this don't sound good. This is not good. It's not good. Mm-mm.
Yeah, there's especially a part where they mentioned um, how she was a disgruntled employee,
Mm-hmm.
and Diddy's people try to spin it that way, and she's like, "How can you say all these things when Diddy gave you a glowing letter of recommendation in just last year or whatever?" And she's like, "Wait a minute, no, this was a letter back from 2012. I wrote the letter, he signed it. That was part of the settlement that we had, and then that opened up a whole nother can of worms. Like, what settlement? What happened? What's happening here?" So he's just digging himself a hole, man. It's crazy. Now, what I hope happens, right? Like a theory that I have is, yes, we're gonna hear about the men. We're gonna hear about, unfortunately, the children. But could you imagine if this unravels a whole spider web of, you got Biggie being shot, Pac being shot, Heavy D being murked. Well, not murked, but how he died. Brittany Murphy, how she died. Um, uh, Craig Mack, Black Rob, like all these people have died from pneumonia or have been shot, have this weird, mysterious death. Kim Porter.
Hmm.
Why did Russell Simmons just bounce like that? Like, oh my God, like there's just so many different ways this could spin. So Diddy might just live the rest of his life on trial. Like he'll be sentenced and locked up for this, but then he's gonna go right back to court and just, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? Like they have a timeline right now. This trial should be done by the 4th of July. So I know that kind of seems like around the corner, and we're not getting to the juicy part, but every single day of court, there's been juicy ass shit coming out.
No, well, actually, they're now saying it's going to take 5 weeks. They're ahead of schedule. So this ain't even going to make it to July. This going to make it to the end of June. They said
Wow.
they have so much evidence already. And with the testimonies, there's so much credibility that they're actually ahead of schedule.
That's
Mm.
crazy. That's crazy. So
Mhm.
the juicy part is yet to come. I mean, every day there's just something new about it. I kind of hate the weekends because we don't get to hear nothing about the court stuff, but it's going to be interesting. I did peep Gene Deal was at the courthouse yesterday. Um, I watched a video where somebody tried to interview him, and it kind of felt like Diddy got some people that are paid off just barging into people's interviews and podcasts and just
Mm.
keeping them from asking questions. Because that happened exactly on this podcast I was watching. So Diddy got his goons out there. I don't know if you saw the free Puff or free Diddy shirts. They
Yep.
were actually paying the people, I think, like 20 bucks an hour to stand out there.
$20. Yep.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
come on now. I don't know. I wonder who's funding them because I'm guessing his funds are frozen. So somebody's forking over that money, and nobody. I mean, people have said it, but I don't think anybody's going to investigate. You got to think. You got to follow the money. Why did all this happen? Why is he locked up? Is because he sued Diageo. He sued that liquor brand. It's the same liquor brand owns Crown Royal, owns Hennessy, owns all these other liquor companies, and he bit the mouth that fed him, and look what happened. So Diddy, yes, you said he's been playing chess. He has, but he sacrificed his queen when he took that freaking settlement with Diageo. So unfortunately, I wish it was something where, Cassie destroyed Diddy. She didn't. She's just a pawn in the whole chessboard. Um, do you think at all, okay, I'm gonna shoot this to you first. Is there any chance whatsoever, even if it's 1% chance, do you think there's a chance that Diddy can walk free?
I think it's a slight, like a 0.5% chance, because it's more testimony that's gonna come out, and eventually his people gonna get to put some people on board, and you know they're gonna try to make him look as best they can. But I mean, at this point, they looking at his character like you just a piece of shit, really. So it's gonna be hard to twist, but it's always a slight chance.
I feel you. I feel you. They have to make that piece of shit vision into you need to be put away. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Chachi, what you think? Is there a sliver of a chance that this man just might walk out them gates and just come out diddy bopping out the courtroom?
Yeah. And that's like, and I say that because it's like, damn, like we live in a day and age where everything's acceptable. Like people kind of turn a blind eye to things and they kind of normalize, abuse and assault. And it's kind of like they'll find a way to normalize it. And after a while, he spent so many years doing the same thing, where it's kind of like he did normalize it within his circle. So I can totally see this going in his favor.
So let's see what happens. I'm hoping that if he does get locked up, this is not going to be an Epstein case where, oh yeah, he offed himself and we don't know where the body is and we don't know this and we don't know that, or some weird stuff happens and he escapes or some weird shit. Because I mean, he's got the money, the power, the connections, but is it enough? You know?
Right.
So let us know what you guys think of the recap here of the Diddy case. Hit us up on our email, thejktheory@gmail.com. And until next time, I'm Jay,
Okay.
Chachi.
and this is the JK Theory. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Could you imagine him just doing that Diddy Bop out the courtroom, playing all
Man.
about the Benjamins? Just
Are y'all still gonna listen to his music though?
I listen to all about the Benjamins. I do.
Even Diddy's part.
It's impossible not to listen to Big without, because Puffy is on every
Yeah.
Big song.
I mean, you got to think like Puff. Puff is a key point in '90s and early 2000s hip hop. Like he's touched so many aspects of hip hop. It's the Only You remix. I love that damn song. 112, Mace, Biggie.
Hmm.
More money, more problems. All about the Benjamins. Um,
I Need a Girl.
I Need a Girl. Um, that
Last night.
what's that one? Only You, not Only You remix. The Jagged Edge and
The
Oh,
party song, where the party at?
yes, where the party at? Shake Your Tail Feather. I
mhm.
mean, it's crazy. And then Mary J. Blige, come on. Usher's album. Like he's all over the place. And it sucks because when I think of grand entrances, I think Diddy. I think like remember we were watching that boxing match where they had it in New York, and
Yeah.
I'm like, why are these people taking a car? You're in the middle of Times Square. Get a fucking elephant. Ride that bitch. Come out with speakers. You got a song playing. Have the artist perform that shit. You know, like make it big, grand, just grand entrances, grand performances. We're gonna lose all that.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks.
I mean, at least we still got Janet Jackson.
Somewhat, somewhat.